Pretty clear to me that AI is going to have a massive impact on media and society and how media is created. But at this point, it's not clear to me, or I think really anyone, what that impact is really going to be. This is the perspective from an artist who's interested in AI. I'm interested in the legality and the technology, and also definitely someone who recognizes the huge concern with it. AI is really, in this day and age, is really a marketing buzzword. It's a pretty comprehensive set of technologies, and often when it's talked about as just like one tech. I want to explain a little bit about this technology and the two different types of AI that are really going to affect media and art creation. The first one is very controversial. It's generative AI. It essentially takes a lot of data and spits out a result that kind of tries to copy and mimic that data. Right now, the most popular generative AI models use a lot of copyrighted data in their data set. It's very unclear what the copyright is of generative AI. Right now, if you type in a prompt and create an image, you don't necessarily own the copyright to that image. So it's a big copyright mess. That's a topic for a whole nother video, but it is one of the big ones that's going to affect it. The other type that I think people aren't as aware of is the category I'm going to talk about, AI tools. So while generative AI, you often put in an input and it'll give you some kind of piece of artwork or music, the AI tools function similarly to how tools did before, but they use AI to make life easier. One of the examples of this is going to be photo masking. A lot of photography is actually about changing values of specific parts of images. Let's say you have a subject, you want to change their hair slightly. Well, you have to tell the computer what is their hair and what's not their hair. You have to tell the computer what is the subject's eyes and what's the background. Now, before AI, this could be a very tedious task. There's lots of different ways for specific stuff. If you do it manually, you're going to spend a lot of time, a lot of fine motor skills, or you'll have to learn some kind of other more complex method for the specific situation you're in when you're trying to get your masks. Now, with AI tools, the AI software has been able to recognize through lots of photos what an eye is, what a human face looks like, often what animal faces look like, and is able to distinguish more easily the subject from the background. So a lot of masking right now is one click, which speeds up workflows a ton. And that is using similar technology and making life easier. Another one is you have AI interpolation. When interpolation is essentially the AI creates frames in between other frames of video. So this can be very important for slow motion. If you don't have a camera that shoots slow motion enough, or you want it to be even slower, the AI can add frames in between. And mileage will vary on each tool, which specific AI tool you're using, what shot you're using, on what quality. But as the tools get better, this is now an ability you have as a filmmaker that you didn't have before. This can also be very helpful with something like stop motion, where you're taking pictures of each frame. Now you might be able to use less pictures and use AI interpolation to give you the stop motion effect. We also have AI upscaling, which essentially turns a video from, let's say, 1080p into 4K. Again, mileage will vary depending on the particular project, but now if you don't have a 4K camera, if it's gonna overheat your battery, you can shoot in 1080p and upscale that in post. That's an option you now have that you didn't have before. And you also have things like AI denoising. So there's often noise in the background. The way you would traditionally clean up noise is you would kind of soften the image and then try to slowly increase the kind of sharpness of the edges. And now you have AI software that tries to remove noise while keeping the detail in the image, which often will help if you make a mistake on set, or if you're in a noisy environment, you have to shoot a high ISO because it's at night. These kind of AI tools might make the process easier. And there's also tools that aren't AI but are in computers that have a massive amount of artistic power. Geometry nodes in Blender. I've seen the type of stuff that people make from geometry nodes and I'm blown away completely, because you can make generators that make other things. And these aren't even AI tools, but they can have a big impact on the quality and the amount of art people can make. And AI is doing a lot in terms of animation. I've seen AI that is able to track footage and then overlay an animated character onto that and composite them in with the lighting. Some of these tools might allow for independent artists to make stuff that they couldn't before, which I think is really exciting. And some of these tools aren't as controversial, because some of these tools don't necessarily use that copyrighted data in order to generate art. So a little bit on the big one, which is generative AI. it's a huge copyright mess. We do not know what the copyright laws about AI generated art are. And because of that, we don't really know what the impact on things are, the huge economic impact this is going to have. A lot of artists are worried about that there won't be the same amount of art jobs, and there probably won't. A lot of people are most likely going to lose jobs to this technology. You will have people saying, well, there people will lose their jobs, but also some people gain jobs. And I think there will be some jobs gained, but what happens is when you have technology that allows one person to now do the work that used to take multiple people, you're going to have less jobs and you're going to have higher competition for those jobs that still exist. Some of these generative AI tools, and also AI tools in general, could allow individuals or small teams to make projects at a much bigger scale than they used to. So there will be a question of people who may have not been able to afford high quality media for their marketing, for their advertisements, for any of the various needs people have media for. Well, some of these tools might allow smaller teams to be able to do that, and some people might have more work that way from the demand of media. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. I get why people are scared. I'm scared. I'm interested. I don't know what to think. AI art is scary. The fact that people can type in a prompt and now images can be created is really weird. I think it'll have impacts on what media we can trust. We know that photos are easily manipulated, but with AI, videos are going to be more easily manipulated as well. It's going to be interesting to see people's interaction on how they trust the art they see online. So I don't really know what to think yet. I think it's interesting, I think it's exciting, and I think it's also terrifying. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you'd like to hear more.